I can't hear you. I think you're muted, Yoda.
Now you should be able to hear me.
Okay, cool beans.
Yeah, this was part of the tech issues that I was having this morning.
Got it.
Yeah. So, uh, yeah, I had to
Good
look up
morning.
who Eric Halloway is because someone said I look like him, and I've never gotten that one before. So
Oh,
let's see. I see. I'm finding IMDb for Eric Holloway. Oh yeah, I think I've seen him before. Yeah. Ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-da. Yeah, that's definitely a first. All right. So how you doing this morning, Jinx?
I'm doing really well. I was listening to um, Donald Trump's announcement at the Super Bowl, where he said that Puerto Rico was a city in Mexico.
Was that today?
I think it was yesterday.
Yeah, I didn't
I'm
catch
not
that.
sure.
I didn't catch that. Yeah, I'm not surprised. I've
I'm
said
just
many
really
times he's
glad.
a fiercely stupid man, so I'm not surprised. He generally doesn't disappoint if you already know that he's dumb. He's generally never going to disappoint you.
Right.
Yeah. Well, aside from that, how's your Saturday going so far?
Very well. I just realized it was Saturday, though.
All right, that's cool.
I've
Yeah,
been helping.
honestly, I generally never know what day it is until I look at the calendar. Without that, I honestly don't know. And sometimes even after I look at the calendar, if I like take a nap or something, I'm thrown off again. So that's just me and my weird
I'll have to
psychology.
teach you how to take intelligence naps, like when you have to work 48 hours straight. You just have this thing, like you can literally get in a corner and pull your hat down and you can take a wee nap.
Yeah, I actually know all about that. I've read a bunch of sleep studies, and I I know that there are short naps you can take of varying lengths.
Yes.
TikTok users, I know the 20-minute and 30-minute one seems to be the most popular for short naps,
Yes.
and they say basically, uh, let's see, just
You're basically generically creating REM.
right. Leroy 100 says Satan is a Democrat. Prove me wrong. That's funny. That's funny.
I
Um,
didn't know who's Satan.
yeah. So you want me to prove that a fictitious character is a Democrat? Why would I get involved in that dumb conversation? Jane 46 says, I will agree with your title. Thank you, Jane, and welcome, welcome. And for those of you just coming in, this is Yoda Live. I am Yoda, spelled Yodddah, because film studios are litigious, and today is Saturday, October 4th, 2025. And my topic today is Dump KILLED America, because I'm pretty sure I can't say the K word on this platform. Um, and For those of you just coming in, the first thing you want to do is go up top somewhere over here, and there's going to be an orange heart, and it's called a heart me. You want to send one of those to let the platform know that this live show is happening. It's the most important metric, according to the folks that are very good at this platform. I am not. I aspire to be, though. Um, and If you don't see an orange heart me, don't worry. It's okay. You can go to the bottom row where you see the icon for the gift box. Click on that, and somewhere in there, that whole list of gifts, you will find a heart me. Not just any heart, it has to be the one called Heart Me. Jane already sent one. I think Jinx did as well. Yes, you did. Thank you, Jinx. And After you do that, you'll want to share out the live. Easiest way to do that is to gently place your finger in the middle of the screen, either on my nose or my giant forehead. That's an easier target. And your friends list will pop up. And once that happens, you'll see send next to each one of those names, and you can just send that over and over again. There's one thing that I forgot to do. There it is. Okay, now. All right. Sometimes I forget to do certain aspects of my technology because I wasn't sure I was going to get on this morning because my technology just did not cooperate with me, but I beat the machines today, so that's a good thing. Um, all right, so my premise is really just a continuation of the conversation last night, or yesterday morning, rather. Last night is on Friday nights, I do chill Friday, casual Friday, so I don't talk politics. And Saturday night, when I go on at 10 p.m. this evening, I will not be talking about politics. But I figure to wrap up my first week of mornings, really my first 4 days, because I started on the first. So my first 4 days of mornings, I'd wrap up with more political conversation. Yesterday I said that America was over, and today I'm saying Dump is the one who ended it, right? So, Jinx, what do you think of the idea that, and I'm not saying this like literally it's Donnie Dump, but you know, he's the poster child, he's the figurehead right now. So I'm saying Dump ended America. What do you think about that?
I feel like I agree with you because honestly, in the beginning, I feel like his first term, he was in it. You know, he understood, he was in the fight, he was going to put all this propaganda out. This time, I think the man is dementia riddled, and I think there's something wrong with him psychologically. And I think they just prop him up, Yoda. I think they give him something to read and they prop him up and he reads it. And then he makes his little jokes in between what he's reading. He just inserts his little jokes like what he's Puerto Rico was in Mexico, things like
Yeah.
that.
Which is usually where things go off the rails, is when he starts vamping. Yeah. I've seen a few of his speeches where either he didn't have a teleprompter or the teleprompter broke, and they're always, I would say almost always, a disaster. When he starts going off the top, it's a nightmare. Oh, Cyrano de Berg. Okay. Cyrano, you've just proven that you hate the Constitution by saying dump 2028. See, these people that are MAGA hats, they keep saying that they love the Constitution and that they love America and they're patriots and all that, but saying dump for 2028 or dump for King, you're exposing yourselves as people that hate America because you obviously hate the Constitution. No, Cyrano, you don't love the Constitution. You just said something counter to the Constitution, you dumbass. You said dump 2028. That goes against the 22nd Amendment. You're a dummy. All right. Anyway, Trippin says in all caps, and please stop typing in all caps, Dump keeps on winning and winning, and liberals keep crying and crying. Who do you hear crying up here, Trippin? Do you not recognize human emotion? Do you think that my conversation sounds like crying? Because it isn't. So let's examine that idea that Dump keeps winning. So this is the same list that I read yesterday, and Trippin, if you want to come up and counter any of these points, please feel free. These are based on all the information that is normally gathered about an administration. And right now we have the highest credit delinquencies in recent history. Ooh, easy for me to say. Worst housing market since 1995. Worst job market since the recession of 2009. Inflation up since January 20th, 2025. It's over 0.5%, by the way. Refusing to post labor statistics. ADP payrolls down to a minus 32,000. In August, 3,000 jobs were lost. We posted minus 3,000 in August. Construction, manufacturing, and agriculture virtually destroyed. He is bailing out Argentina with $20 billion. Interesting. I thought they were trying to cut spending, but Argentina is going to take that 20 billion and give it to its farmers so that they can sell soybeans to China, which is the biggest consumer of soybeans. And American farmers are going to get nothing, basically. And
You mind if I add in?
this last one is an opinion, but I believe he's provoking armed conflict with Venezuela. I'm sorry, hold on one second.
Can
If I can
TikTok
see
add
your
something
name.
to what you're saying?
Yeah. I
No worries.
absolutely. TikTok user 33. What would you like to add in?
Yeah, I was going to ask, do you think that the bad housing market, do you think that that is somehow Trump's fault?
Well, what I think is that anything that went wrong in America between 2020 and 2021 and the end of 2024, dump blamed on Biden. So I assume that he feels that whatever goes wrong in America is the fault of the president. I mean, he did say in 2011 that if there's a shutdown, it lands on the president's shoulders. So I'm using that same judgment criteria for this administration. And so whatever goes wrong is on him.
Sure. So I guess my question really was more or the specifics of, like, do you think that he has anything to do, like his policy, his administration, with the housing issue in America today? Like, for instance,
His administration is being judged like every administration is being judged. And of course, administrations have to do with the housing market.
got it. So I just wanted to make sure because
Okay, now
the
you've made sure. Do you have a point?
yeah, my point would be that housing prices in the United States from 2020 to 2024 massively increased with no actual increase in wages. From the beginning of his
And
current
now
term,
we're in
housing prices have
2025.
declined in
So do
most
you
major
have
cities.
something to add about the subject, or are you just monologuing?
No, I just told you a fact.
Great. And now we're in 2025 and we're talking about dump. So aside from what you decided to cherry pick, the rest of that list is not about housing. Housing was one aspect of it. So is Dump responsible for the condition of American economics right now?
Yeah, he's partly responsible, of course. He's been the
Okay.
president twice now.
Okay. And do you dispute any of the things that I just read?
Will you reread those? Because as
No.
soon as I heard the
And
housing, I
so
just thought this
what you
is not
came
true.
up here to do is nonsense, and you just basically wasted time. So do you have anything of substance to say about the subject?
Yeah, here's something of substance. You're factually incorrect with what you're saying, and then when
Of
anybody
course.
corrects you, you
Of
just insult
course.
them, and that's
Of
what you're doing.
course. Of course. So
It's literally what you just did.
I'm sorry you're a
Thanks for the 100.
snowflake. I'm
TikTok
sorry you're a
as well.
snowflake. Take care. Bye.
That's not a debate.
Yeah.
That's not a debate. That's I'm right. I'm right. I'm
Right.
right.
Right. Yeah, this is what happens when you give out participation trophies for decades. You get people that can't handle it when someone has a different opinion than theirs, and they definitely can't handle it when you present facts. Everything I presented, I said at the end that the last thing that I presented was my opinion to make the distinction, which is provoking an armed conflict with Venezuela, right? Everything else I read These are literal statistics that are kept by the same people that have been keeping these statistics for decades, and and they don't want to accept these things as facts. They want to say, "Oh, you're factually incorrect because you're saying something mean about Daddy Donnie," right? So this is a childlike mentality, right? And I gave him I gave him several opportunities to talk about the subject, but he just didn't want to do it.
Well, I think as soon as you told him you're now talking about 2025.
Yeah,
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 he wasn't even making any sense.
of
His
course not.
information was coming from a different time.
So now we're bringing on Smiley Clips. Hot dog guy says, "Host is a coward." Yes, so's your daddy. Anyway, Smiley Clips, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing fine.
Excellent. What's on your mind?
I just had a question. Have you guys seen the Purple Revolution?
The what?
Purple Revolution.
Purple Revolution. I don't think so. Or if I have,
It's
I didn't pay
I
attention.
know is Prince. I know Prince's Rep Purple Revolution.
no, it's trending because the some of the left and the right are coming together against Israel.
Oh, well, that's not quite a bold stance, but okay. What about it?
Um, what's your stance on Israel about us giving us aid?
Well, I generally am against any country that's engaged in a genocide, so that's my stance.
All right, no, I just came up. I'm just
I don't know if you want my stance, Smiley, because I'm of Irish background.
yeah, I'll take your stance
I think it's complete BS. I think that Netanyahu should be thrown in prison.
because
I
back
mean,
then
a few countries agree with you, so he has to avoid certain countries when he travels because
Right?
they are
Ireland.
looking to throw him in jail. I'm sorry, Smiley. You started saying what?
oh, it's because I used to be a Donald Trump supporter, right? I used to be.
Hmm?
But the Charlie Kirk and the Israel, like, opening a lot of Trump's supporters' eyes, like, now I'm not a Trump supporter no more.
No
So
worries. Welcome
you
back.
sound like you are from a Latin country. Is that correct?
Texas, border town.
Gotcha. So are you a Latino?
Latino, yeah, American.
Okay. So how is it that you ever supported Dump since he's been a racist his whole life?
I guess just the brainwashing, I guess. I'm not really sure.
I hear that, Smiley. I know that can happen.
Yeah, I honestly don't accept that as an answer, because you're an adult just like I am, and you saw who he was just like I did. So I don't understand as a minority how you can support your oppressor. How does that work exactly?
It's just the narrative, like, just the headlines, the headlines, and I wasn't really, like, at 2016, there wasn't no TikTok.
Well, first of all, there might not have been, but there was other social media and there was news outlets. And Donnie Dump didn't spring into the world in 2016. Okay, he's been an adult for quite a long time. He and his father and his company were all charged by Richard Nixon's Department of Justice for racist real estate practices. He said
Or
many racist
you see,
things, and I'm in the middle of a sentence, dude. He said many racist things over the decades. So I'm glad you're not a Dump supporter now, but I don't understand how any minority supports their oppressor. That's a very confusing thing to me.
it's because I'm 20 and I'm barely, like, I, I haven't even been around that long.
Okay, but you can read things, right? You have the ability to read?
Yeah, but all this
Okay, so
brainwashing with the music.
did you not read about Dump before you voted for him?
No, I didn't vote. I wasn't old enough, like, to vote.
Okay, so you were old enough last year to vote.
Oh yeah, but I didn't vote last year because that's when I started opening my eyes. Like,
Okay,
I feel like
so what exactly did you support about Donnie Dump, since you didn't vote for him, that doesn't sound very supportive. So maybe I'm confused. What is it that you supported about Dump?
It was just all the just the headlines and the brainwashing. I guess it was brainwashed. I don't even know, because everybody was just talking about Trump, like you
All
know.
right. Well, I guess the damage is minimized somewhat since you didn't vote for him. But in the future, what I would suggest, and because I never tell adults what to do, but I do make suggestions once in a while, educate yourself about the candidates because politics runs our lives. Politics has a huge influence on our lives, especially if you're not wealthy. If you're wealthy, then you influence politics. But if you're not wealthy, politics influences you. Are you a wealthy person, a millionaire or billionaire?
No.
Okay, so that means politics influences your life. And if you want your life to be influenced in a positive way where you have some input on it, then it makes sense to educate yourself about the people who are going to run your life, don't you think?
Yeah, but they don't teach us that growing up.
Yeah, they do. And that's fine. Now you're here. So you can keep using the excuses of what happened in the past, or you can take responsibility for your life as a young adult and start making changes. Is that fair enough?
Yeah.
All right, excellent. Let me welcome in La Turo. Turo?
Laturo,
All right.
but my first name La. I just tell people to say La, cause
Hello,
it's
La. How are
easier.
you doing this morning?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for asking. And what's on your mind today?
I came up because of Smiley. Ooh, Smiley. I'm a black woman, and we voted 92 to 95% against Trump. But I've been waiting to get an opportunity to speak to some Latinos or
Don't
Latinas.
don't rip
The
him a new one.
I'm not. I'm
Okay.
not. I'm gonna be nice.
Well,
But
let's
I
let's
need.
let's not preemptively try to censor anybody. Say whatever you feel like saying.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna rip them.
I apologize, Letty. You're right. He's right.
I just want to understand because host Yoda, is that how to say your name, Yoda?
Correct.
Yoda, you stated we're all adults. And whether you're 18 or you're 46 like me, we're all adults. And facts are key.
Yeah.
Smiley, why
Well,
did
he he
you
already he
ever?
already answered that. So let me make a distinction about that's why I called him a young adult because I take my cue from the Constitution. I don't think we're adults until 35 years old because that's how old you have to be president. That's my idea. That's not a rule of any kind. That's just how I think about it. And so he's a young adult. And what I give him credit for, and I was neglectful in not saying this earlier to you, Smiley, is that you were thinking one way, but you got some new facts. You mentioned CK, and you mentioned another thing, and now you're seeing that the way you were thinking was incorrect, and you changed the way you were thinking. That's a big deal because you're not a MAGA hat because MAGA hats can't do that. The people that are in the cult, no matter what information they're met with, they brush it aside. And I'm going to give you an example of that. About, I think, 4 or 5 weeks ago, there was a poll taken of dump voters. And the question on the poll was if Dump was convicted of being a PDF file, would you still vote for him? And 47% of the respondents said yes. So if we take how many people cast their ballot for him last year, that's 36 million people. That's over 10%
It can be
of the
36.
population in America. That 36 million people said that they would vote for a man who was convicted of being a PDF file, which is the worst crime that a human can commit, in my opinion. And so they are unreachable. They're the ones that you see in the comments talking about how Dump is amazing and Dump is wonderful. You know, the guy that I was talking to earlier, I read all the facts. He wouldn't accept the facts. Those are people that are lost to us. They're not part of Team Humanity anymore. The other 41 million have at least a possibility of being reached. But that's how you know occult members, where they won't change their mind no matter what information that you give them. So the fact that Smiley changed his mind is significant, and I think we need to encourage that. You
That's
know,
great, but I didn't get to ask my question.
you asked him why. Why what?
No.
She's gonna get her question in.
You started with why. So what was the end of the question why?
Well, right. I didn't get to ask it. That's
And
what
now
I'm saying.
I'm asking you what the end of the
So my
question was.
question is, when somebody states that you are rapists and murderers, say things like that. Even if you support the man, I'm trying to understand the psychology behind it. Why would you support him as president
Yeah,
to
he,
make
he already
decisions
answered
for
that.
you?
I asked him several questions about why he supported him, and he answered them all. But if Smiley, if you want to answer that question, feel free to go ahead and do that.
I got something about cults, okay?
Oh yeah, hang tight. I'm going to introduce you in a moment. So go ahead, Smiley. Do you feel like answering that question again?
Cause I just feel like I was like brainwashed by MAGA, I
Yeah, it's the
guess.
same answer. So yeah, that's why I was trying to save everybody time earlier. But you're right. I didn't
But
let you
he's
finish the
not
question,
explaining.
but now
What
you
is
finished it.
brainwash?
Okay,
Well,
What
so
is
I'm not going to argue with my panel, so I have to drop you. So it is Bad Bunny. You said you had something about cults. First of all, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing fine. I hope you are too.
Thank you very much. And by the way, I love the discussion about cults because I've been reading about psychology for 48 years. So this is a subject that's interesting to me. What's your take?
Yeah, well, I'm a black conservative. I'm 71 years old. And you speaking about cults. Well, black Democrats have been in a cult for the past 65 years. They vote
Excellent.
they vote strictly
Yeah,
Democrat. No matter, they're the
yeah.
only demographic that vote.
And what have Republicans
Okay.
done for you? So
They
this is, by
passed
the way, this is a
listen,
self-hating minority because he's voting for his oppressor. But go ahead,
listen. Okay, you
explain why
said
you vote for your
what have
oppressor.
they done for us?
Yeah.
They passed the Civil Rights Act and the Voting Rights Act of 1964 and 65. The
Mm-hmm.
Democrats didn't do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Also, when you talk about cults, LBJ said he'll keep them N-words voting for the next 200 years. Democrat.
Mm-hmm.
And recently, Joe Biden said if you don't vote for him, you ain't black. And
Yeah.
blacks still now them are
And
still is
how is that evidence of a cult? You
because
obviously, I
those
don't think you know
those
what cults are.
those are racist. Those are racist statements.
You obviously don't know what cults are because cult has a
Yes, I do.
definition to it. No, you don't. None of the examples you just gave have anything to do with cults. So try again.
No, see that you're dismissing what I'm saying. If you
No,
are
I am
blindly,
correcting what you're saying because you
no,
have not described a
I
cult
disagree
so
with that. I
far.
disagree with
I
that.
don't care if you disagree.
If you're blindly,
The parameters of a cult have definitions to them. Okay.
I don't want to hear that
And
psychological mumbo jumbo, man.
oh, it's
Listen,
mumbo jumbo now
that's what
because
that is. That's a
you're the
bunch of
one who knows.
gobbledygook. That's a bunch of
You're the one
gobbledygook for
who
people that
knows,
don't
right?
can't read and
You
write.
don't no
I can read and write, okay? Listen,
psychologists and people who study cults don't know what they're talking about, but you do, right?
Yeah, I'm a
half of
forensic.
them, half
Bad
of them
Bunny,
want to
stop.
be.
Wait,
Uh,
listen. I'm a forensic psychologist. He is right. Read this book. Okay.
I know I'm right.
he
If
doesn't
you
know.
follow somebody,
No, I
mumbo
think
jumbo.
Yoda's
He's not
right.
going to read it.
Yoda's
It's
right,
just
though.
mumbo jumbo to him,
listen, my
right?
brother. If you follow somebody
I'm not your brother,
blindly,
you motherfucker. So fuck off. All right. Nobody that votes for their oppressor can call me brother, okay? You are not going to vote for your oppressor as a minority and come up here and try to claim me as your brother. That's fucking horseshit, okay? So we got a few people that want to come up. Looks like a long list of people. Let's see if I can get all of them up. I don't know if I can because I only have 6 slots, but let's try. We got one,
Up
two, three, four. We
here
got two more
and you
left.
dropped
Uh,
me. And I wanted to say that I was not arguing with you, but for you all to just assume that I was coming up here with conflict because I
okay. So here we go. So now I have to remember her for later so I don't bring her back up again. So now we have room for everybody that wanted to come up. Okay. All right. We have with us Miss Claudette. How are you? Ms. Claudette. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you, Yoda. I have one question. I heard him say something about the Republican Party voted for civil rights. So my question is to that: what year was it when the parties actually switched?
It was right
What
after
year
that.
was that?
It was mid 60s, so yeah. But
Oh,
he
okay,
wasn't here to
okay. So,
engage in
so
facts and stuff like that. He was just here to monologue about his step and fetch it mentality. But before we continue on, let me just say hello to the rest of the guests. We have Unity. Is it Unity Bread? Unify Bread? I can't read that.
It's my name on the screen is Unruly Beard and
Yeah, for
Attitude.
some reason I couldn't see that. Unruly. So how are you today?
Very good. Thank you.
Excellent,
And
excellent.
you?
I'm fantastic. Let me say hello to Diddy Cizon. I guess that's a take on one of the YouTube. I'm sorry, one of the TikTok influencers. How you doing, Diddy?
Yo, what's going on?
How are you doing?
Doing great. Having a good day. I just
Fantastic.
had a few questions for you.
You had a question for me. Yeah, I'm. This is going to be interesting. Go ahead. What's your question?
Yeah, what's your thoughts on the people who say Trump was good for the country because the noticing and the overall awareness of Jewish power and Jewish supremacy has gone up in America?
All right. I'm not going to indulge in that nonsense. Okay. Swift the Gift. How you doing? Swift the Gift. Hello.
First of all, good morning. First of
Good
all, good
morning.
morning.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great.
Fantastic.
It's good weather here in Texas. So,
Excellent.
um, love your lives. Always love to participate when I can.
Howdy.
I just wanted to. The only thing I wanted my voice to add to the conversation today was I'm noticing from a lot of the haters that have come into the chat, whether they're typing or talking, is it really illustrates to me the miseducation and the undereducation and the uneducated. And I feel like there's so many people who are like using excuses to not participate. And so it makes me think about how while we were growing up, we were thinking about George Orwell's 1984, and we were worried about this like oppressive state that controlled things, which is true. But what we forgot to remember was Aldous Huxley's Brave New World, where we're so over entertained that we won't even notice what this state is doing. And I feel like listening, and I'm trying to be respectful to the young man who, you know, is like, I was brainwashed or whatever. That's Brave New World. Like you're watching football or you're watching reality TV or whatever, and then you go, well, I don't know anything about politics. But politics affects you way more than you know, especially if you are poor, especially if you are a person of color, especially if you're a woman. And I feel like we don't think about that enough. And to me, I feel like there should be a bigger fight in the educational realm. And I really appreciate your lives because like, you really like give it how it is, and you're calm and you keep it 100. So thank you.
I do my best. Thank you. I appreciate that feedback. And Wise Woman is teacupping right now. Are you still there? You might have gotten a phone call or something.
So Yoda,
Yeah.
could I input a little bit of my education over the years.
That is unruly. Yes, go ahead.
So I
Thank
am
you,
a
Yoda, for answering. I'm going to go ahead and drop down now. Okay.
All right, let me drop you down. Thank you for being here. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. Have a great day. All right, so please continue.
so I'm a 69-year-old white cis individual. Grew up in a very, very conservative environment. Um, grew up in a very conservative religious environment. And so it took, um, for me, it was the beginning of the Tea Party when I started to realize that the party I had supported for so long had really sort of gone off the rails. And also recognizing the growing influence of the Christian nationalists and the fact that initially when they started to realize that they wanted a stronger influence in politics, the key platform for them at that time was segregation. And then with the civil rights movement and the recognition from a lot of Americans that we needed to be doing better, they then changed from segregation to abortion as the number one issue. And were able to, as I saw from my perspective, really get a lot of people on board because of the basic belief that abortion is the worst thing that you can do. It's murder, even though science
Easy.
doesn't.
There's words that we can't use on
Oh,
TikTok,
excuse
and
me.
the M word is one of them.
So the dissolving of a pregnancy, is that somehow is the worst thing that you could do. It has just really that.
I think a lot of people also don't understand women's biology. That there are women that need this service sometimes because of ectopic pregnancy or, a failing pregnancy. They already have children that are living, and they just need that procedure to clear out all the tissue so they won't get an infection.
Yeah,
Which is
that was
all
something that
science.
I didn't know about until this whole controversy took place.
Yeah.
I didn't know that they categorized certain medical procedures that to me
Yes.
are absolutely not
It's
abortion
called, in
as
medical terms, it's
abortions.
called a DNC. It's
Yeah.
called a DNC.
And
And
so that's bizarre because that really adds to the complexity of this thing, and that added to women's suffering because now doctors have to send women away until they're on the precipice of passing away before they allow them into the hospital to save their life. That's crazy.
It is crazy. And even with these extreme instances, what I just learned and truly believe is that we don't understand another person's situation. So why are we trying to make the choice for them about what they're going to do?
Yeah, but
We
that's done all the time, right? If you think about just the law, right? This is how I look at the law. It's an attempt to codify morality, right? So that's being done to us all the time, what you can and can't do. And the law really doesn't prevent anybody from doing anything. What it does is sets up the parameters for your punishment if you're caught doing the thing that they don't want you to do, right? But before I bloviate about that, let me welcome FBA Detroit. You were here yesterday, I think, correct?
Yes, sir. How you doing today, brother?
Welcome back. Thank you for being here. I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm great. I just wanted to elaborate on the topic. I see you got dump spilled America.
Killed America, yeah. Because
Yeah.
unfortunately, this platform forces us to speak like babies. But
Yeah, that's why I said spilled it.
yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, he did do that. I agree with
Sesame
that, man.
Street again. All of us are
Um,
gathering at Sesame Street by Oscar's trash can.
so I do agree with that because I mean just look at the country, all right? We live in a country where the president decides to follow the idea of the most racist group of individuals in the country, somebody decided that it would be a great idea if we reopen another version of Alcatraz, but this time go get all the alligators from the Florida Everglades and put them all around it and call it Alligator Alcatraz. And he's like, man, that's a good idea. We're going to do it. And he actually brought it into reality. Mind you, this ain't even a prison for the most dangerous serial spillers or grapists. This is a holding facility for immigrants who committed a misdemeanor charge of coming into the United States of America, supposedly. Some of
And
them,
many of them had no charges against them at all.
none of them. I mean, a lot of them came and maybe overstayed a work visa, but these are misdemeanor charges or no charges at all. And you're going through all this, wasting all of this taxpayers' money, and going to the Florida Everglades and bringing these alligators back here and building this whole facility for that, like a waste of money. And you actually have a majority of the country cheering behind this guy. And all of the dumb things that he do and the rhetoric that he spew, you actually have people that are cheering behind this guy as if he's some kind of genius, when literally there's people in the United States that are homeless. There are veterans out here that are homeless, and he's trying to make it seem he's trying to make it seem like this is just the best place in the world to be. And he wants to make being homeless a crime. Like, all of this guy's ideas are just ridiculous. How could anybody ever say that this is a bright individual? And then another thing that I wanted to say why the country is going in the direction that it's going is because there is not enough empathy towards others. You see, the average white T American, and not to pinpoint anybody out, but I got to make a point because we're all adults and we should be able to have a respectful adult conversation. People like Charlie Kirk, he makes white T Americans feel as if they're victims. He makes them feel as if they're victims.
Yeah, that's been the strategy
the-
since the 60s, by the way. That's what the Southern strategy, when the parties flipped over in identity, that's exactly what they've been doing since then.
Well, and that's his thing. He wants to make white T Americans feel like they're victims of the way things are. And it's like this. Okay, so he'll take on this role as, I've never owned a slave. I've never participated in any Jim Crow laws being passed. Why should I have to pay for things that happened before my time? Okay, so he'll make it seem like you're a victim in that, instead of having empathy on the people who are victims of that. So he'll say, I don't see any white privilege. So I like to point out, okay, you have the privilege of your people never being oppressed in the United States of America. If black people had never been oppressed in the United States of America, they could have started reading 300 or 400 years earlier. They could have started buying property and owning land 300 or 400 years earlier. They never would have had to go through Jim Crow with all the injustices that was performed, all the public executions and the fake grape charges and convictions that they had to go through. They wouldn't have had to fight for every right that they have. You see how oppression could play a role in them being in the situation that they are in right now. You have the privilege of that never having to happen to you. Now, when you look at the history of America, you see the Native American has been oppressed. You see the Mexican has been oppressed. You even see the Asian American has been oppressed. So if you are a white American, you have the privilege of never being oppressed in this country. That means that your ancestors had at least 300 years of buying property and reading and writing and all of the things that no one else could do. Nobody else could make gangs in this country for hundreds of years because you guys were oppressing everybody. So
Yeah,
if you're a real
let me build
person,
on that for a moment before I introduce a couple other guests that we have. And
Yes, sir.
please mute your mic because you have some background noise there. But anyway, when I used to talk about privilege, I spoke about it in the generic way And everything you're saying is correct. And that's the way I started talking about privilege, is the way you're talking about it. Because the number one pushback that I got from YT folks was, well, I had to work for everything I had, because they associated privilege with wealth, right? Which is one form of privilege, absolutely, but it's not the only privilege. I started
I'm trying to,
explaining them the
excuse
way
me, I'm
that
trying to mute it, but it won't let
you
me mute.
explained it, which is, the things that you don't have to experience in America make up part of your privilege in a very significant way. And the example that I like to give the most is being pulled over by the police. Because I asked, I was, for part of my life, I lived in an all YT neighborhood. All right. My mother remarried when I was 7. And when I was 9, we moved to a part of Long Island where I was the lone pepper in a sea of salt. So I have a lot of YT friends, and I was able to ask them questions. One of the questions I asked them was, how do you feel when you get pulled over? And the answers were basically, oh, I get nervous because, I don't want any more points on my insurance, or I get annoyed because I'm going to be late to where I'm going, and answers like that. Not one of them ever said to me, when I get pulled over by the police, I worry that this could be the last few moments of my life. Not once. And
You're
that
talking
is a
white women?
privilege. That is
Oh,
a
sorry, I didn't mean to
privilege.
interrupt you. I'm sorry.
No worries. We have, it looks like Detroit dropped off. We have Joseph. Hello, Joseph. Are you there?
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. Um, uh, look, I have to say this, man. Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, so I have to say this because I'm pushing this more significantly than anything. If we have the power to change the narrative, it is our job and our duty to change the narrative. We, as Black people, we respond to being attacked as opposed to attacking to make sure we don't have to respond. I don't understand how or why, in my opinion, and I don't want to be attacked for this, we're not investing in our communities with our youth, and why we're not investing in our communities with taking care of our women and children and taking care of our educational situations so that we can grow more. It doesn't make sense that we're just sitting around and not doing enough. That's just the true story of it all, right? If we're being Chicago and New Orleans and any inner city, there's a bunch of senseless crime. There's a bunch of men not going to work, and there's just a bunch of things that are happening. We're not educating our children, and we're becoming our own detriment. And I say that only because if we're not paying attention, we got all these people coming over here from India. The YT man is not going to be your problem anymore. Those people don't care about you at all. They don't care about your civil rights or none of that. They don't give a dog about you. And they're taking over trucking. They're already in the computer systems. They're already buying up hotels and stores. And if you own any commercial property like I do, they may already own the property that your building is on. So our issue is us investing in ourselves, in my opinion. I'm not trying to make anyone upset, or I'm just being open with you.
No. I hear you, Jose. I mean, I'm from Irish background, and I totally understand what you're saying. I don't understand y'all's fight, like totally, of course, because I'm YT. But my family came from Ireland to escape religious persecution, and they were unaliving us. So when we came here, it was the Black community that took us in. They were the ones that took our money, like took our business. They made sure they came. Like, my grandfather wouldn't have made it without the Black community. I'm just gonna put that out there. So I want you guys to also know there are generations of Irish people and Scottish people that have your back. in the United States.
Oh
Like
yeah.
we're in your rallies, we're at the rallies, we're dressed regularly, but if we see something going down, they're going to have to come through us to get to you.
Oh, I believe that 100%. I met a woman the other night from Belfast, and she said, man, she said we seen y'all with the civil rights. She said that made us mount up over here for the civil
Yeah,
rights.
I'm telling
You
you
know what I'm
guys.
saying? That's what
The
she said.
IRA is watching you guys. We got you. We
Yeah.
got you.
She said we mounted up, but that's all I'm saying about it. Disenfranchised people like us, we have to start investing, right? Once we invest, because we are the fair-minded people. So if you're having a problem with the police, become the police. If you're having a problem with the sheriff, become the sheriff. The problem is we are not investing in that part of the system to grow. And that's what they're banking on. And I'll say this, and this may offend people, but I voted for Donald Trump, and this is why. I knew that this man would come in and he would cause chaos, right? But if he didn't cause the chaos, BLK people wouldn't be getting involved right now if he didn't cause the chaos. But because he caused the chaos, right, people are now starting to get up off the sofa and get motivated. You feel me?
Facts.
You couldn't tell a teenager in Chicago, in New Orleans, in Little Rock, Arkansas, in Memphis. I'm telling you right now, you couldn't walk up to that teenager and say, "Hey, teenager, don't pew the other teenager. Don't
So
do it.
so let
It's
me
over
let me
nothing."
let me see if I understand you, and then I'm going to move on. You voted for dump so that harm would come to America?
Not harm will come to America, sir. I just
But
told you what I said.
that's what happened.
Okay, so let me ask you this. I'm just speaking for myself, guys. Just hear me out. How did harm come to me? I drive a truck. If you put Kamala Harris in office, if you put Donald Trump in office, guess what? It don't affect me. I still have to pay my bills. I'm a military veteran. I'm retired. So at the end of the day, no matter what they did affected my paycheck, and no matter what they did stopped me from having to pay my bills. None of them. Now, I do understand that some of the things they do affect some communities. But let me just say this right now. I hate it for some of the BLK community that the guard and all that have to go in there. I hate it. But I also hated the fact that we were not educating our children. I also hated the fact that our kids were itching
Okay, we've been
to pew
down this
pew each
road. You
other.
you you explained that already. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming up this morning. Have a great day.
All
All
right.
right. So we've got SPL. How you doing? SPL, you are muted. You can unmute yourself. Hello, hello. Let me try inviting you to unmute. Oh, he's teacupping and something. Okay. So, yeah, I don't understand the logic of voting for the oppressor to cause chaos. Maybe I'm not intelligent enough to understand that strategy, but Swift, the gift, what do you think of that strategy?
So just a little background. And I never like to tout my background, but I have a degree in political science, I have a degree in philosophy, bachelor's levels, and then I have a master's in public administration. And I care a lot about politics. I am a YT person, but I am a member of the first Black fraternity, and I've been a member for 22, 23 years. And my chapter that was founded was the first one that was integrated with both Black, white, and Mexican members. So that's my background of what where I'm coming from. I don't remember his name, Detroit or whatever. I totally am just yes, preach, preach, preach. But the thing that I think a lot of conservative people who are, not understanding is that it's the system. And it's been there since, like you said, since Nixon, since the 60s. Whether you're talking about redlining or whether you're talking about the education system, it's oh, well, we need to educate our kids. It's rigged against you. Everything is rigged against you.
Can I ask you a
Like,
question? Do you think
yes,
that
please.
Latino Americans have been lost in the civil rights movement?
I think that after Cesar Chavez, yes.
Yeah, I mean, like,
And I live,
come
you know,
on.
and I live in a city that is like 70%
They're dragging them
Yeah,
off
Hispanic.
our
but
streets.
Chavez didn't happen in America. But let's get back to that for a
Yeah,
moment. Let me
but they're dragging them off our streets without the
No, it's that.
process.
No,
hold on, hold on, hold on, hold
in a
on.
dominantly Latino city.
Hello, hold on. Let me
Sorry.
welcome Griot, Griot or Griot. How you doing?
Let me.
I'm good. How are y'all?
I'm excellent. How do you pronounce your name?
It's Griot.
Griot, gotcha. So
Yeah,
if I remember correctly, a griot is the wise man of the African village.
that is correct. The
Excellent,
storytellers.
excellent. Welcome. What's on your mind?
I just wanted to make a statement. Right now, I really, the big issue is education and critical thinking. If we all just put a little bit more effort into education and thinking critically about these issues, I think we'd be better off. Just assuming and pulling things out of your ass makes us all look bad. We are in a really deep piece of shit right now, and we need to come together, and we need to put our differences aside. We need to listen to each other. We need to have more empathy for each other. We need to get some clarity, and we need to push, because these people, these rich people, this 1%, they're in a club, and that club does not include us. And we need to figure this shit out. Otherwise, we're gonna wake up and we're all gonna be in fucking chains. And that's my piece.
Excellent. Those are all great points. I appreciate that. Let
Thank
me
you for having
welcome
me.
in a couple of new guests here. It looks like we have Carl. How you doing, Carl?
Good.
Hi. So, and we also have, it looks like, Yep. How are you?
Yeah. Hey, how's it going?
I can barely hear you. It looks like, wait, so we lost somebody. I don't know what happened there. We lost Griot, it looks like, but, so Carl, what's on your mind?
Are you saying that like Trump did this to America? Yeah,
I
okay.
appreciate that
I was just wondering. Yeah.
you're,
I've never been in
you're,
your live before.
I got
I
you.
should
So
ask, but
yeah,
yeah.
you ascertained the meaning of
Yes,
my
yes.
title. Yes.
Um, yeah, I don't think I would agree, man. I think what has happened is the reaction to him like even running in the first place. Definitely like it showed what was already there on both sides, you know. And I don't
All
think
right.
Trump is.
Okay. Let's cut to the chase. The reaction to him running has nothing to do with being the president and the administration and the choices that they've made. So if you want to speak to that, to say that you disagree, I'll listen to you.
Well,
So
when they lie, when they okay,
how is it?
if you don't want to
What are
listen,
the
that's fine.
decisions
Well, I'm not going to
that
agree with
Dump
you. Is that
has
okay?
made? That's fine. I'm not asking you to agree, man. I'm
No, well,
asking
you're
you
trying to
another
frame every
question.
like my thoughts here, and I'm
Holy
trying to tell
shit,
you what I
dude.
believe.
I'm trying to have a conversation with you.
Okay, I'll just let you speak then.
Are you so sensitive that you can't have an adult conversation?
I was trying to give you my opinion, and
I
you cut me off.
understand what you were
So I'm
doing. You
not the
were
one who's being
wasting our
sensitive.
fucking time. And now that you're being a fucking brat, you're going to go.
I should have warned you. I
So,
run across him before, but
That's okay. That's fine. Yup. How you doing?
I'm good, man. You
I
good?
cannot hear you, unfortunately. Something is going on with your technology where you sound about 10 feet underwater.
One sec, if you can hear me.
It's possible. I don't know if you have Bluetooth or something like that. Sometimes that interferes.
All right, you probably can hear me much better now.
I can hear you much better now. How are you doing today?
Good, man, good. I just wanted to say I agree with you, man. That's what I wanted to say. I think anybody who even voted for that fucking dude a second time around is, I don't know, man. They got to be coming from either a place of ignorance, like they're just stupid, or they got hate in them. I mean, I don't see any other like middle ground. Either that or maybe they're really
seems to be the
wealthy or
case.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
So, and some people voted for him 3 times, which I find amazing. Because,
Yeah.
like, here's the thing. Like, being that I'm a New Yorker, I knew all about Dump from the 70s, right? But I understood that most people in America only knew him from The Apprentice, right? You don't see any other developers on television, but for some reason that wasn't a red flag for some people because Americans are very much into celebrity worship. So I was able to sort of forgive the level of ignorance because I know Americans don't have time to look into candidates very often or are too lazy to, which is probably more often the case. So they were just voting for the celebrity. But after that idiot got into office the first time and trashed everything, I don't understand how people voted for him again unless you factor in stupidity or racism or if
Yeah.
you're a millionaire or
Money.
billionaire.
Yeah. Yeah. To me, it's just like I agree 1,000%, and I just don't like. Let's just say like it is for those reasons. Like I think some people must have lost their morality along the way or something. Lost what makes us human beings, the ability to critically think and ask ourselves, is this what is happening here? Is this good for our country or is this bad for our country? Is this good for the people of our country? Really is another thing. I mean, it's everyday people that are getting affected and fucked over right now. Excuse my French, but I mean, it's not the people who are making these decisions aren't the ones feeling the effects the most. It's the people, the average everyday normal dude going to work. TS and nowadays with the stuff that's happening most recently, and now with the government shutdown, I mean, it's affecting thousands of workers. I mean, that's a whole different story. But I'm not going to take up too much time. I agree with you. I don't want to like be up here just to agree. But
No, it's fine. Agree or disagree is fine with me. I like hearing other people's perspectives of what they're seeing. I'm not up here trying to have a rally. I'm not up here trying to self-aggrandize. I know people are going to disagree with me, and I know people are going to agree with me. But very often, even when people agree with me, they share something that I had not considered before. So, and I try to keep it balanced. I don't always indulge MAGA hats. Because as we can see, they don't know how to have a rational conversation.
yep.
But I like hearing other people's ideas, so I appreciate that you came up.
No problem, man. I don't got a lot to say, so I'm not going to take up too much time, but I appreciate what you're doing. And
All right.
stay true to yourself, man. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a great day. So a couple people came up, but then dropped off right away. So Jinx, it's just you and I right now. But let's see. Look at that. Look at Trumpy Bear says, Dump owns you all. Ha 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 ha. So Dumpy Bear, what you're doing is projecting. Because Daddy Dump owns you, because you're a simp, you're projecting that on other people. You think if you're a good little cult member that he's going to love you and maybe hug you someday. But he doesn't give a fuck about you. He doesn't know you exist and he doesn't care. All right. Let's see. Hell of a claim. I'm not sure what that's pertaining to. Oh, Nicholas Silvestri wants to know, explain how racism. That's so cute. That's so cute, Nicholas. Oh, you haven't heard that there's racism in America? Is that what it is? Oh, Lord. I love that. I love when white tea folks play ignorant like they don't know that
Isn't that
racism
something?
exists. I
That
love that.
slavery never
Racism?
existed.
What do you mean? I've had people be like, how is he racist? Explain how he's racist. And then
Right.
after I tell them the 12 examples that I have of his racism, they're like, I don't see it.
Do you start with the housing in New York that he had and he
Yeah.
wouldn't let any
Because that's
of the black people
codified
live in?
racism.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was Richard Nixon's Department of Justice that went after him, right? And
Facts. Him and
and
his father.
yeah, they named three people. They named his dad, they named him, and they named the dump organization. So,
Yep, and they all got in
and
trouble.
that's just how it starts, right?
Yeah.
Because obviously they were racist before that, because they just got caught being racist in '73. right?
You know who
And
taught him, right? You know who he was a student of. He was a
yeah,
student of
Khan.
an attorney named Roy Cohn.
Yeah, Roy Khan. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Roy Khan was just he was just a typical sleazy dude, but I think his real tutelage came from his grandfather and his father, because in 1939, when the Schmatzes had a rally in Madison Square Garden, New York City, his grandfather was there. Either his grandfather or his father were there and got arrested. So they obviously he was taught before he met Roy Khan. By the time he met Roy Khan, he was already well
Yeah.
into his career.
He couldn't stand a school because he was so arrogant and so egotistical and like
And
telling the
dumb.
teachers to give him an A, whether they liked it or not, and stuff like
Yeah.
that. That's why he ended up going to military school, y'all. He didn't go because he wanted to be in the military. He went because he was causing trouble in all the private schools in New York.
Yeah. Nicholas says, you have provided zero evidence so far, because I don't need to convince you that the sun rises in the east, dude. I'm not trying to convince you of anything, because I don't care about what you're saying. If I cared about what you're saying, I would make an argument, against it, but you're dumb, so I don't care what you're saying. If you're pretending that racism doesn't exist in America, you're too dumb for me to talk to. Anyway, even though it was a rocky start because of my tech issues, I'm glad that I was able to come on. Jinx, I appreciate that you're supporting the show, and your contributions are valuable. I like the things that you have to say.
Can I share something real quick,
Yeah,
Yoda,
please
on this
feel free.
thing? I want anybody that's listening, I have a book here that is really good. It's by Dr. Stephen Hassan. He was in a cult himself in the 70s. He got out and he went and got his degree in, psychology, things like that, PhD in cults. This book is amazing. Let me put it up. Oops. Hold on.
And I'm sorry, what's the title again?
Here we are. Well, it won't let me do my camera.
Oh, I don't know why.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, there you go.
Can't.
Yeah, it's backwards in the camera. So what does it say?
Okay, it's The Cult of Trump by
Mhm.
Stephen Hassan. Hassan, as in natural, PhD. This is a really good book to explain to you how that cult works, the MAGA cult.
Yeah, honestly, of course, that book sounds like a great idea, but if you read any articles about cults, you'll understand it, because cults are consistent, the way they work, and here's the rule of thumb. It's kind of a simple way and a very reductive way to look at it, but it's an easy way to look at it. If you want to know if any organization, group of people, whatever, are a cult, you just have to understand that cults control all of the information that they get as much as they possibly can, and the cult leader can never be wrong, right? The cult leader can never be wrong. That's a big indicator. Like, we see these people that come in the comments, and it's like, oh, Daddy Dump is perfect and he can't be wrong, and that's how you know that you're in a cult. But I have something. I have a couple of things to play for everybody, but I'll drop you down. Again, thank you so much for being here. I always appreciate people that make it a regular rotation.
Thanks, Yoda.
All right, have a good day. So let me play this video. This is basically an organization that I volunteer for, and they were kind enough to create a landing page with my name on it so that people could get involved. So here we are. I volunteer for one of the leading pro-democracy organizations in America. They're called Represent Us. You can get involved right now and start fighting for democracy and against corruption. They've given me my own URL, represent.us/Yoddah. Represent.us/YODDAH. You'll be taken to this page where you can start getting involved right away and letting your representatives know what you think about what's going on. So go to represent.us/Yoddah and let your voice be heard. Boom, there it is. All right. And I will remind you or tell you for the first time if you don't know. By the way, there's only 4 roses left to hit my goal. Somebody help me out there. I have a second channel where I do coaching. I just launched it. There's not much content on it yet, but I'm going to build that up. And it's called Coach Yoddah. If you want to reach it, it's at coach.yoddah. Coach period Yoddah, because film studios are litigious. So with that, I want to thank the folks that have been coming by every day for my new morning show. I go twice a day, 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. Eastern Time. This morning I was a little late because of tech issues, but that's the goal, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Saturday. And I'm going to keep that schedule for at least the duration of the year. Basically, I started on October 1st for the 4th quarter, and we'll see what I do after that. We'll see where TikTok is after that, because changes are here and more changes are coming. So thank you for tapping the screen. Thank you for sharing the live, for all the comments, even the goofy ones. Thank you for all of the people that did the heart me. I appreciate that. That's the number one way that this platform recognizes a live show. And again, hopefully you'll join me tonight, Saturday night. No politics. It's just chill conversation. I do that Friday night and Saturday night, just no politics. So if you want to join me then, I'd appreciate it. Until then, peace, love, and granola. Talk to you soon.